Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. I was a little bit mischievous yesterday. I put a little sort of miniature poll on the community bit of the page, and I was asking, who's the more boring fighter, Sonny Edwards or Lawrence Okolie? And I think there's about 151 of you who have voted so far, and 4 out of 5 are going for Okolie. No surprise there at all. But the reason I put this little mini poll on is because I wanted to get a sort of feel for how people view Sonny Edwards. I'm not talking about the quality of his work or how capable he is of winning fights, but entertainment value. Because he's just signed to DAZN, to Matchroom. There are big fights ahead with big names, Martinez, Bam Rodriguez. But Sonny, against Campos at the weekend, Andres Campos, undefeated fighter, totally untested. Sonny, I wouldn't say he toyed with him, not by any stretch of the imagination. Campos definitely had his moments. I thought Sonny won, but it just wasn't entertaining. I mean, regardless of whether you thought Sonny won or not, it's just not entertaining to me personally. Now, I've always had reservations about Sonny Edwards, and his style is just not the sort of thing I like. And it's a taste matter, because some people, I had a couple of people in the comments saying, what are you talking about? Sonny Edwards is, he's classy. He's got all the skills. He makes it look easy. Some people like that sort of connoisseur, what would you call it? That sort of slipping and sliding, that reflexes thing, that athleticism thing. They like that style of boxing. I personally don't, and I say this as someone who's a massive fan of Roy Jones. In my lifetime, Roy Jones is the closest thing I've ever seen to a virtually unbeatable fighter. I'm talking about when he was at his peak, obviously, before he wrecked his body by going up to heavyweight and boiling down to light heavy. At his peak, he was just sublime and completely unique. He didn't do a lot right that was, in the textbooks, but he was great to watch, because he was just like gasping at how good he was. With Edwards, he sort of prods and pokes and slips and slides, and 1 minute and then he's on the ropes, letting the guy come to him, and he's countering, and then next thing you know, he's gone for a little Jersey Joe walk around the ring, and I find it very sort of bitty, and there's no real style. There's no real style there. It's all just posturing and nonchalance and a little bit of showboating here and there. Now, he can do all this against the likes of Campos, and he won his title, his IBF title off Mathalaney, who, I was disappointed with Mathalaney. I'd seen him a couple of times previously in defences of his title, and when he turned up to fight Sonny, I thought he was not as good as I thought he was going to be, and Sonny basically did what he always does, which is, win most of the rounds. I think that Sonny's, it's a Marmite. Sonny's style is a Marmite style. I don't think it's entertaining to me personally, not to my taste, but some people do like that style. And of course, we're talking about this. The purpose of this video is to ask about entertainment value, not whether he can beat people. So, can he beat Bam Rodriguez? Yeah, sure. Can he beat Martinez? I would say so, yeah. But one thing's for sure, those two guys, as long as they come in without any injuries and they've made the weight right, are going to provide a lot more pressure and a lot more skill, a lot more ring IQ than anyone Sonny has faced before. And I often wonder if a guy has that type of style like Sonny has, and sticks to it and isn't tested, is kind of resting on his laurels and not using the opportunity to really put it on these B-level fighters, decent fighters, but not elite, like a Campos. Really, he should be sharpening his tools with these guys. He should be going at them and trying, to really get them out of there, or at least beat the crap out of them over 12 rounds, instead of just toying with them and he is kind of resting on his laurels. And again, I get back to this phrase, sharpening your tools. That's what you should do like Marvin Agley used to do. When he went in with a caveman Lee, who was a decent fighter, but obviously nowhere near as good as Marvin, he got him out of there in a round. Marvin Agley's one of my favourite fighters. He did that with fighters. He wasn't. It's the old cliche, don't get paid for overtime. But his attitude was, I'm going to put it on them, just as if they're an absolute killer. and I'm going to show what I'm capable of. Because sometimes, even if the opposition isn't great, the manner in which you get your work done can be very impressive and can get you a bigger audience. People go, oh yeah, I remember Marvin Hagler. I remember my grandfather, who was a very difficult man to impress, saying to me, Marvin Hagler is a killer. Marvin Hagler is a great fighter. This is when Marvin was, first time I saw Marvin was, I noticed him really was when he beat Minter, obviously, when he came over here, beat up Minter, and then there was that disgusting, barrage of bottles and whatever it was, cups of piss thrown into the ring by all those, racist fucking chimps. But Marvin Hagler was a great fighter. And he was a great fighter. He got that reputation as a killer by dealing with B-level fighters in the way that champions should, which is to either beat the crap out of them, stop them, knock them out, or both. And I would like to see more of a killer instinct from Sonny. Sonny is more of a Michael Nunn figure. Got a lot of skills, lots of slipping and sliding, and very, very good reflexes and so on. But he actually looks like a flyweight Michael Nunn to me. And I always thought Nunn was extremely good, extremely talented, but he got complacent. And then James Toney was the first person to beat him. And he was losing that fight, Toney, because, all that slipping and sliding that Nunn was doing was winning rounds. But then suddenly Toney, a guy who was very, very technically good and, wasn't as fast as Nunn, wasn't as fluid, but he had great fundamentals, and he managed to catch up with Nunn and knocked him out. And I just wonder if a Bam Rodriguez, Bam's very, very young, isn't he? He's only 23 now, if that, or a Martinez will be able to catch up with Sonny and punish him. I think those are two fights I would definitely watch. But if you put Sonny in with someone who is, clearly behind, who is clearly not as good in every way, I'm not really that interested, because I find it's more like an exhibition to me. And this video, the purpose of this video is it's not an anti-Sonny Edwards video. I'm just saying that I find it's funny because let's put it this way: I was hanging out on, or I wasn't hanging out. It wasn't a hangout. It was more of just a live stream thing that Boxing Beats and Rhymes did. Terrific channel, Boxing Beats and Rhymes. Go and check it out if you're not familiar. And I was on there, and someone in the comments, which Beats was reading out the comments, and someone said, "Oh, Sonny Edwards is a beta male boxer," which I thought was quite funny because it's a little harsh, but I kind of know what is meant by that. And actually, Beats said something else. What did he say that I thought was quite funny? I can't remember it now, but it was yeah, I can't remember. There was something else he said. It might come to me in a moment, but they were basically saying, Edwards is good at one thing, but put him in with someone who's got real great fundamentals and is a killer, is determined, has a good chin, comes forward constantly. Chocolatito's probably past it now, but someone like that would hunt him down and knock him out, I think. Is that person going to be Bam or Rodriguez or Martinez? I don't know. Anyway, leave your thoughts below. What do you think of Sonny Edwards? Entertaining or not? Do you think he's the best flyweight in the world, as he's often called? Most of the people in another poll I put out there said they thought Bam was. But Bam hasn't looked that impressive in his last two fights. Not really. He's still a very young man, still a terrific fighter. Come down from super flyweight to flyweight. And that's a fight that can be made. Do you think those fights would be entertaining against Martinez and Rodriguez, or do you think Edwards' style would negate them and make them duller? I don't know. You tell me. Leave your comments below. Thanks for watching the video as always, and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and like the video also. If you hit the like button, that helps us out a great deal. Much appreciated as always, and I'll catch you later. Bye for now.